I am with Sonna, the incredibly talented musician, social media superstar, everything. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming. So, Sonna, I want to get started with something magical. You
Oh,
were 16 in front of Universal executives in baggy joggers with just a guitar and a huge smile, and they signed you there and then. What do you remember of that feeling in that moment? Not the business stuff, just the feeling.
the feeling was pretty surreal. It felt like living out a dream. I think I was only 16 at the time, but I do remember writing it down maybe like about a month before that I'm gonna go to America and I'm gonna sign a deal. And I remember just like putting it into like a little airplane, the paper, and then throwing it out the window, thinking that it was like going to the heavens and God. And then so when it actually happened and I was sitting on that plane on the way to, meet the record label and perform for them, it just felt like, oh wow, does this happen with everything? So yeah, it felt pretty surreal.
Hey, it proves manifesting works.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
put
yeah.
it as a plane, made it on the plane.
I mean, exactly there, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Well, imagine if I did, I've never really made a paper helicopter, but if
might try it.
I'll try it next time, yeah.
So your whole family, your parents, your grandmother, they're all musicians. So music isn't just what you do, it's literally in your blood.
Yeah.
What's your earliest memory of music at home? Like, when did you first realize this is where you're meant to be?
I would obviously be around music in my family environment. So for me, I just thought every family had music in their household in that way. But hearing, yeah, my mum singing and my dad, he's a jazz musician, and watching them do their thing, it was pretty inspirational. But I think I sort of fell into it naturally. And I remember, when you're a kid, you sort of, especially as a little girl, you'll play with dolls and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
instead of acting them out and talking them out, I'd sing. I'd create like little theater plays, and I'd sing them. And I was around 7 at the time. I remember my dad taking me downstairs, and he was like, I thought I was in trouble because I thought I was loud. And he was just like, do that again. And I said, what? And he goes, you sang. What were you singing? So I sang a Cinderella song. And then he was like, you can sing, right? And I thought, yeah, but everyone can sing. And he was like, he's Beta means child. He's like, no, Beta. I'm like, you can sing and you've got this thick vibrato thing or whatever. And yeah, so it felt kind of it was really encouraging. And I felt like I had a lot of support growing up doing that. Especially being, you know, Indian, you naturally veer on, you'd have to almost be like encouraged to be a doctor or an accountant or a lawyer. So it was really, I felt lucky enough to have that sort of support. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a really beautiful story. And it leads us perfectly onto this. Growing up surrounded by so much culture and music and creating Western pop really is a fantastic gift. Where does the sort of foundation live in your music now? Because obviously your dad's a jazz musician, your mum was a singer. Because it feels like it's there, even if people don't always name it.
Yeah, there's definitely an inspiration or influence there for a little bit of a jazz feel and, combined with Indian sort of singing. I wouldn't say I sing in that style, but there are subtle nuances when you listen to certain trills that I'll do. If I go, that little trill there is probably my mum and has nothing to do with me or any of the influences that I've heard growing up. But I think it just comes out in ways that I don't even realize. I think I was doing a performance the other day and someone said, you do this thing with your hand, you do this. I was like, do I? And I couldn't, I didn't even, I don't associate that to anything other than what I've been influenced by, I guess. And so, yeah, I guess it comes out in subtle, nuanced ways. Yeah.
That's really cool. And I have to say, just even that note, yeah, I'm tone deaf. So it's incredible that you
Oh,
can just crack something like that out. Um, so let's talk about Music Mondays, because
yeah,
that's where the story really gets magic.
yeah,
You started posting fan requests on Facebook, no real strategy or plan, just you wanted to connect people and learn new songs every week. And
yeah.
then Neo comes along and discovers you and signs you on stage saying, I'm not going to let you go. What does that feel like internally? Like, did you believe him in that moment?
No, I thought it was a prank. And so yeah, I felt, I mean, Music Mondays has always been this thing where I wanted to connect with people, and it wasn't something that I ever thought would, get into the hands of Neo. Even though it's social media, so you wouldn't, sometimes when you're doing social media, you're in a bit of a bubble and you don't know that there are real people that are behind the screen watching you.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm connecting with people. I'm meeting so many amazing people that just appreciate music and my voice. So yeah, when I'd done one of the shows and he'd come to the show and he said, "Oh, you're the Music Monday girl." I became the Music Monday girl, which is cool.
Yeah.
And so the hashtag and everything back then, Instagram, I always found myself on Explorer page and people would find my videos through that. But so when he'd asked me to sign to his label, I was thinking, hold on, did I write that down? Did I put a little plane together? Because I don't remember doing that. So it didn't feel, yeah, it just felt surreal. But also, it just made me understand the power of social media and how you can connect to almost anyone through just doing what you love authentically.
So that journey from in the bedroom doing covers to signed by Neo, what did that teach you about the kind of artist you want to be? Because you kind of just bypassed all the traditional gates, the building stuff, the conventional way, and just went direct to the people.
Do you know what? Honestly, I think it did take a long time to build. I mean, Music Mondays, it was around for a good 2, 3 years before
Hmm.
anyone cared. And, I'd write a lot of songs, I'd collaborate with a lot of people, and anyone that needed backing vocals for anything, I'd just do it, or a show or support. I just found myself everywhere. And it was a bit of a grind. And also, I couldn't afford a band. So
Yeah.
so I thought, all right, let me learn to, you know, be my own showman, I guess. So I've always sort of played guitar, but keys, guitar, and then I had a loop machine, and I took that on the road, and I was my own rodeo, I was my own tour manager, I was my own everything, and so yeah, to finally be in a position where Neo's on stage and he's asking to sign me. It was just almost like, oh, okay, so hard work really does pay off. It's not just uh, yeah, it's not just a long lasting dream that at some point someone's going to say, maybe you should just get a normal job now. So that
Yeah.
was kind of cool. And then, yeah, I found myself, performing. And he said to me, well, on the day that he asked to sign me, he said, "What are you doing on Friday?" And, everyone on the stage, they were like, all the musicians, they were like, "What is he asking her?" And I said, "I don't know. I'm washing my hair. I don't know." And he was like, "Do you want to perform at the O2 Arena with me?" I was like, yes, oh my God. So it was almost, it felt like, a full circle of everything just coming together and just feeling worth it, really. Like everything was worth it in the end.
So even that, going from where you were to the O2 Arena, that must have been massive.
Man, it was surreal. It's crazy. Yeah. And then the amount of people I connected with after that on social media, it just felt even more just, and also the people that have been following me from day one that remember my Music Mondays, and then they seen me at the O2 Arena. It almost felt as if I'm not doing it alone. I'm doing it with, my tribe of people that I've built this connection with, and they've supported me for this long, and they're seeing it all come together. So yeah, it almost felt like, yeah, this is a cool movement for me and my fans.
You've talked about how social media became your way to connect, going through without going through organizations, without gatekeepers. And your original songs on Facebook have got over 1 million views.
Mhm.
That's not just luck. That's people genuinely connecting with what you're putting out there. What does that feel like when you realize that people are wanting and waiting for your music?
It's a beautiful feeling. It also, for me, I don't look at it as, I'm just this person that's everything I put out, people are going to love it and they're going to da da da. I've built a good relationship with the people that support me. So, I'll send them direct messages, and there's hundreds and hundreds of messages that
Mm.
I'll spend time, and I'll get back to people, and I go, I remember you said you were having a baby. How is that going? Or da 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 da. And just to let you know, I've just released something. And so I think the whole point of having, fans or social from a social media perspective, you have to be social, and you have to
Yeah.
connect with these people and care about their lives as much as they care about what you're doing. And it's almost like that type of energy exchange. So for me, it just feels like, yeah, I'm just updating, a mate that, hey, this is so cool. Look what's happening. And they're like, oh my God. And, they support. And so, yeah, it just feels like I've got a really big, not fan base, but friend base.
That's awesome, especially nowadays there's such a disconnect with social media. So seeing it being used in the right way is incredible.
Yeah.
And you've also been beautifully honest about the emotional side of that connection. The sleepless nights, the feeling that you need to show fans how much you appreciate them. And I can tell there's a lot of love there. But how do you honor that connection whilst also protecting the part of you that needs to create freely?
That's a good question. I think I'm an open book, but I'm
Mhm.
also not. So it's having that balance of being quite, hey, here I am, I'm accessible, I'm gonna reply to your comments and messages, and but at the same time, you won't know that I'm at the gym
Yeah.
or I'm having, whatever, like at a restaurant, and I'm just posting, hey guys, I'm right here. So I do feel like I maintain that um I don't know, distance that, people can look forward to when they see me, as opposed to, oh, there she goes again. So it's yeah, trying to find that full balance, which I think I do that pretty well. Maybe I don't.
Yeah,
But
definitely. So let's talk about the new music. What are you most excited people to feel when they hear it? Like imagine someone's listening to your new stuff for the first time. They're in their comfy space or safe space, whatever you want to call it. What
yeah.
journey do you want them to go on? How do you want them to feel through it?
I would like them to feel whatever the music makes them feel. So, so far from the new song that's been released, it's kind of an introspective sort of reflection on where they might be in their lives. Or it might just be the fact that they enjoy a little bit of the beat, or, if they're like a singer, they might listen out for the harmonies and the riffs and a few musical aspects. If you're a musician, there's some beautiful string pieces in there that if you really listen, you can, they're quite detailed, and they're just beautifully kind of put together with the team that have done the song with. So yeah, I think anything that people take from it. But ultimately, the song is about finding yourself, in moments where you don't really, feel confident, or you might feel fear, or you might feel anger, and it's okay to be lost in the chaos sometimes. So that's the message of the song.
Okay, so let's flip that around. What was your journey in creating this?
Oh
Like,
God,
where were
my
you? What was your
journey.
headspace?
Yeah. So my headspace creating the song, I went into a very dark space. So things were going great musically in my career, and I was in America. I was in, recording and releasing stuff, and I had a whole show and a tour and lots of things going on. But I ended up getting faced with an injury with my ear, which is why I've got these
Mhm.
little earpieces in my ear. But and so that injury took me out of the game completely, where I had to not sing for about 2 years, a year and a half. And I was trying to figure out what was going on, and it's a rare condition that some people get faced with. What 2% of the population in this world get it, and it's a condition called SSCD, superior canal dehiscence syndrome, and if it gets into it's like right near the brain and the ear.
Mhm.
And you can get to a place where it's debilitating. You could stand up, and if someone talks to you, you'll literally fall to the ground. So sound can be super sensitive. You can hear your internal organs, you can hear your heartbeat, you can hear your eyes move, you can hear all sorts of things going on. And so for me, I just thought, okay, well, forget even music. My whole life experience has been compromised. So I'm just gonna, yeah, deal with that. So through that journey, I spoke to a few surgeons and they said brain surgery was probably the only way to kind of look at this. And I went down a holistic way of treating myself through um, studying sound and frequencies and healing frequencies, and then created a box of just healing frequencies. So a tuning fork that resonates at a certain frequency of 528. Anyway, so a whole year of me
Yeah.
kind of researching sound and trying to figure out how I can heal myself holistically led me back into a place where I could slowly start speaking again and hearing other people talking again and putting the TV on and getting in the kitchen and dealing with cutlery again and lots of little things that you wouldn't really think would be a problem. Um, so I had to kind of be faced with that. And it took me to a really dark space.
No, I can
And
imagine.
yeah, and through that, Lost and Found was born. And it's something that every time I hear it, I think, wow, I was in that space, but through kind of losing myself, I sort of found myself that it's not just music that defines who I am. It's not just me being a singer. It's way bigger than that. It's about your life experience and how you connect with others and how meaningful, this life is and how precious it is. So yeah, that's how I know it's a bit long, but that's how yeah, Lost and Found was kind of
No, that's incredible. It's definitely something that I'd like to learn more about. And even that opening up and the vulnerability, you've built your entire career on accessibility and vulnerability and honesty and being real.
mm.
Has there ever been a moment or a story that's really touched you from a fan or a supporting person?
Yeah, oh my God, so many. Ooh. So yeah, a woman, she was diagnosed with cancer and there was a specific time when I was talking about the frequencies quite a lot and I
Mm.
felt quite passionate about it. And I remember going through the motions with her and all of the things that she would feel, and leading her to certain hymns and frequencies and she had the song playing over and over and over and over again. So did I. But there are certain parts in the song where, it's kind of like a healing sound. And I purposely put that in there. It's like right after the chorus, it goes, and it keeps repeating. And so that's something that I got her to do religiously. And she went through her own healing journey through, different herbs and roots and
Yeah.
everything that she did. But she did say that the music was something that she held close to her heart. And her kid was a big fan of all my videos on social media. So she'd just sit there and watch all my videos at night and she'd try to take her phone away. And she'd be like, no. And she'd just keep trying to scroll. And she said it just gave her the most amount of happiness and sort of just being there through that journey. And now she's in a space where she's cancer free. And that's not just solely on me. I mean, not me at
Yeah.
all, I would say, but
Absolutely.
just
Absolutely.
being a part or adjacent to that kind of story and going through the motions with her and thinking, wow, I don't really know this woman, but I know this woman. She's
Hmm.
she's a part of my journey as well. And the reasons for why I do what I do.
That's, yeah, really touching and incredible to see someone taking time to do that for, as you said, a person you don't know, but really got to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we're all the same, aren't we, really? We all go through pain and all the same emotions, but just we get there in a different way. So why not try and help soothe that journey for someone else if you know you've experienced it yourself?
So, looking back at everything, um, you've been on an incredible journey. So much has happened. Um, Even as an artist, your sound, everything's changed. What do you see when you look at this version of yourself compared to, and your new music compared to what you were doing right at the start?
Oh man, yeah, I don't recognize who I was back then. It's really weird. I even look different. Um, it's because I look back at myself and I think, oh wow, my mindset was so different then. I think
Mhm.
I just wanted to impress everyone with a guitar riff or like a,
Yeah.
kind of cool chord or like a vocal run. And now it's not about that. People get annoyed.
Mhm.
I annoy myself if I sing a song and I'm like, "Ah, shut up." It's not about that anymore. It's about, singing from here and being able to connect with people and I almost like it when someone goes, "Oh, I can sing that." I'm like, "Good, sing it with me." Not, it's just not a
Yeah.
freaking talent competition. This is, it's music, and music is art, and art is obviously for interpretation, but also connection is very important to me.
So if you could go back to that younger self, not a warning, but what's something that you would want to tell them? Something beautiful or motivational?
Oh, do you know what? I would actually just say no one cares. So
All right.
do what you want to do. Just be you, because I think we have this spotlight syndrome a lot of the times
Mhm.
when we're just living our lives and we think everyone's looking at every little detail of what we're doing, and they're not. Like, they really don't care. Yeah, I think I was a lot more analytical and critical of myself back then, and I would just say just let that go, because when you do, a whole world just opens up to you, and people just feel a lot more yeah, open, and you can connect better. Yeah, I definitely say to let go of the analytical side or critical side.
So before we round things off,
Mhm.
away from everything, who is Sonna?
Hmm. Who is Sonna? I would say Sonna is a work in progress, someone who is fond of connection with people and learning and growing. I'm a bit weird and quirky sometimes. Uh, and yeah, I love embracing that in others as well.
Hey, that's how we should all be, ever growing and ever weird.
Yes, that's it.
So
I'm ever Sonna is ever growing and ever weird. I'm stealing that.
yeah, absolutely,
Like
go
that.
for it.
That's good. That's good.
Last
That's good.
thing, and this is definitely my favorite question in interviews. Every interview leaves an anonymous message for the next guest, a piece of advice, a question, something that you carry with you. The last person said, don't waste time overthinking what it is you're passionate about. You can feel it, allow the universe to guide you towards it, and accept the challenges. Remember, everything is necessary.
I like that.
What's something you'd like to leave for whoever's next?
Um, so I would like to leave something that's a little bit shorter, but
Oh, absolutely.
it's something that I heard the other day and I absolutely love it. And this is for people who, have all these ideas in them and they just never see it through because they're scared or fearful, or
Hmm.
they think people won't like it or whatever. So that the saying is, I am your idea. One day you will look for me and I'll be gone. And I love that because write your idea down, or see it through or do something, because someone else will take it and they'll do it and you'll go, oh my God, I had that. And there's something so fulfilling in being able to, as a songwriter, as a musician, as a singer, having an idea and just seeing it through. And that's what Lost and Found did for me. I was able to write it down, feel how I felt, and now I'm connecting to hundreds and thousands of people around the world. And that's so powerful. So yeah, that's my one.
I love that. It's really beautiful and relatable, actually. This has been everything. Thanks so much for this.
Thank you so much for having me.
If people want to find you, where can they find you?
So my address is, no, I was kidding. Can you imagine after all that? So yeah, Instagram, Sonna. That's my handle, and then TikTok is Sonna as well. On YouTube, on Facebook, Sonna Music, and yeah, I absolutely love it when people come and say hi, and if they've been inspired by the story or just want to connect, definitely send me a DM because I will read it and I will respond.